Well, we've seen a lot when it comes to people attacking Bernie Sanders and Bernie Sanders supporters, and really the movement as a whole, and what progressivism is really about. And I think officially, the Washington Post just took it too far today by letting this person, who I checked is a university professor in Berkeley, which surprises me greatly. Her name is Jennifer Rubin, JenniferRubin, and she has decided that, well, let me just read it and I'll give you guys an idea. So, if you're, by the way, this is written during the pandemic. This is written when Biden's health is declining. This is written when Donald Trump's numbers are actually improving, even among Democrats. This is being written when a financial collapse is imminent. This is also being written when all of the policy platforms that Bernie Sanders has despised to, and we're going to have a video later with Biden talking about, oh, we're not going to do Medicare for all, and then goes on to describe something Medicare for all like. Well, we're going to see how far these people have fallen, and we're all just going to laugh at them because they deserve to be made fun of. So, and this is, I'm reading from the article. It's one of those that usually I'll cut up little pieces of the article. This, I just have to kind of go until I have to stop. So, if you are in the search for silver linings, one benefit of Senator Bernie Sanders pointlessly continuing his losing campaign is the freedom of Democrats to denounce him and his anti-party escapades. Puh. After years of humoring him, the vast majority of Democrats, from super progressives to moderates, can now say out loud what they've said quietly. It's always been about Bernie. It's not a movement, but rather a vanity project. The Post reports, quote, 4 years after Hillary Clinton's race, with the senator from Vermont still running against former Vice President Joe Biden, despite almost impossible odds of victory, some party leaders are increasingly worried about a reprise of the bitter divisions, so much irony in that little part, that many Democrats blame for Hillary Clinton's loss. I think that you haven't let it go, person who wrote this. However, the course of denunciation is, in a way, reassuring that the overwhelming majority of the party is unified behind a center-left nominee. Quote, I just think it's a terrible decision for him to make because it looks very selfish, said former Democratic Senator Barbara Boxer of California, who backs Biden. If Sanders is genuine about going all in to defeat Trump, then get out, she said. Scott Brennan, a Democratic National Committee member from Iowa, expressed hope that the party's divisions will not repeat because Biden, quote, doesn't generate the same sort of fevered hatred from Sanders' allies that Clinton did. The problem, according to many Democrats, remains that 15% of Sanders supporters say in polling that they would vote for President Trump over Biden. Now, technically, that kind of goes against their own statement because in the last election, it was 12%. So it's actually increased, undercutting the statement being made. But hey, she's a professor. What do I know? The problem, according to many Democrats, this nugget actually makes the opposite argument. There's nothing that would satisfy some of the Sanders coalition, maybe like not saying that you wouldn't veto a bill that passed both houses and the Senate. That might be something that, but I get it. We don't know what we're talking about. We're insane people. Where was I? Would rather blow up our democracy and reelect Trump. That's what we want to do. With people so irrational, the best response is to ignore them. They, like the MAGA hat crowd, are unreachable and cannot be bargained with. E.g., more Green New Deal talk. What a terrible thing. Oh,
they won't take the money.
They won't take the money.
Bargained with.
So do not try. No more outreach to Sanders. Well, wow, I was really excited because that we're getting all this outreach right now. We're getting so much support. They're like, you know what? If you vote, we'll give you Medicare for all. We'll do like a version of the Green New Deal. We'll kind of. Oh wait, no, never mind. None of that ever actually happened. No more outreach to Sanders. No more promised policy modifications. No more speaking slot at the convention. Enough. This would have more sanitary. Sorry, I can't keep a straight face doing this, but I'm going to keep going because I'm committed to this bit. First, it would make perfectly clear that Biden is not Sanders. What? He isn't? Oh, That's news to me. And not a crazy left-winger, as Trump would like to paint him in the campaigns. Biden makes a sharp distinction between the Democratic Socialist crowd and his own brand of center-left politics. Is that the groping women above the waist part? Is that the center? I don't know what she's. Anyway, since he cannot change the 15% of the Bernie or bust Democrats or independents, he might as well make a strong play for moderate independents, which worked really well when Hillary did that in the last election, and disaffected Republicans that worked really well when they did that last time. Cutting Sanders off effectively allows Biden to pitch to get gettable swing votes, not waste time on unattainable Bernie bros. Guys, what do you think?
Okay, so again, looking at the Washington Post, I mean, what's there really to expect from this organization? They're living in their own bubble, and it's disturbing to see the media really going all in and ignoring the fact that there's something wrong with Joe Biden with his cognitive issues. And now they're trying to blame Bernie Sanders supporters, independents, from not falling in line and going with the whole mantra of vote blue no matter who. This is to be expected from the Washington Post. And the one thing that can be done right now is boycott, of course, Washington Post, ignore it. It's owned by Jeff Bezos, who is the sociopath who owns Amazon, who treats his workers like crap. I mean, this is the outlet that says, democracy dies in darkness. Well, no, democracy's dying in broad daylight, and corporate media is just, willfully turning a blind eye to it and pretending nothing's happening. Look, Joe Biden is a flawed candidate. The man has 8 women stepping up, accusing him of sexual harassment and sexual assault. I mean, the guy has a track record. There's video evidence online and on social media. I don't have to be a Trump supporter or a Republican supporter to say, hey, look at this. Anybody with a computer or a cell phone can just look online and see Joe Biden acting really hostile and creepy towards young women and women and older women. And you could see that he's also has a whole track record of people stepping up and saying that this guy is a constant abuser. He is somebody who does it. He fits the profile. There's something wrong with Joe Biden, even before he had this real clear cognitive issue. So the Washington Post is propaganda at this point, and we're at a point where media itself is no longer a trusted source, and there goes the force of state. And that's why we exist here at Hard Lens Media, because we have to call it out. And now we have to call out Washington Post and the New York Times, ABC, CNN, NBC when they fail, and they are failing right now. We're seeing a failure of all institutions. And the whole idea of blaming a voter because somebody is, I don't know, pragmatic and they don't like it because their candidate lost. Well, there we go. Whatever.
So yeah, Kit, you're right. This is voter shaming. It's just Washington Post opinion article that is, narrative shaping and propaganda-y. It's like this isn't even worth commenting on. I mean, it's just a Democratic Party insider being like, those independents are ruining everything. We're being so nice and giving them everything they want, and they just keep being obstinate that we need to give them something and that we aren't giving them anything we want, but we just want to keep saying that we're giving them everything they want because then they look like they're being obstinate because we don't want to give them anything that they want.
And that's the thing.
That's the shtick. Yeah. That's the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the exact thing with this entire article. That's why it came out. That's why I was so interested in it. Because usually when I'm reading articles, I can kind of get a sense of the voice of whoever's writing it. And most of the time it's like, hey, I'm going to be analytical and follow the party line, even though I'm including my own biases. I really don't know that because I'm not, because everyone tells me that it's not biased. It's fair and balanced or whatever. In this, I mean, every sentence is just venom and venom and venom and venom and venom. And again, to the point of everyone else, this is the Washington Post. This is the Washington Post. This is a big paper, and I don't think we would allow a story like that to even be covered or covered in that way on this channel because we care about hey, look, there's another side. We don't agree with it. We have our own biases that we wear proudly, but we're not gonna destroy people unless they have. And this is it's just so sad that the Washington Post
argument is what it is. It is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate how they call it a vanity project, right? I haven't my political, affiliation and all that just came into my life recently. These guys know that this is something that has been now become more of a passion to me than it has in the last 5-10 years or whatever. But I don't vote Bernie just to vote Bernie. I vote Bernie because of what he stands for and the things that he wants for the people, and his consistency. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. And to do that whole voter shaming thing, like that's a disappointment to see.
In regards to building a large army, to be a successful candidate and a politician, Politics 101 is to convince people that you are the stronger candidate, that you deserve their vote because you are strong, you exhibit strengths, and you understand the issues that are impacting them. And right now, across the board, whether you are a Democratic voter, Republican voter, independent, socialist, green, libertarian, doesn't matter. Right now, it's the economy and health of the American people. I mean, right now we're at the risk of seeing a true Great Depression. People being out there on the streets, dying on the streets, starving on the streets, families out there on the streets. It's going to be a real thing, and it's going to be a nightmare for a lot of people, and people are going to get angry. And the last thing anyone wants is to be yelled at and said, oh, it's your fault that things are like this because you didn't vote for our candidate because he was better than the other guy. I mean, that doesn't work. That doesn't work on people. People don't like being insulted or spit on. How do I know this? I remember 2016. Me and Daniel were there at the DNC convention in Philadelphia where we saw Clinton supporters and people within the Democratic Party spitting and insulting Bernie Sanders supporters and Green Party people. We saw that with our own two eyes. And it's something that I'll never forget, because at one point I'm thinking, am I at a Trump rally? And I was actually talking to Daniel about this because before we even started Heartlands Media, Daniel was at UIC reporting and filming when Donald Trump came there. And Daniel, after the whole event and at the convention on the fourth day when Hillary Clinton was inaugurated as the nominee, he turned to me and said, Kit, I couldn't tell the difference. I couldn't tell the difference if I was at a Trump rally or at a Clinton rally, because all the people were acting the same. And the Democratic strategists that are using this policy of insulting Bernie Sanders supporters and independents is going to fail miserably. And we're going to get, yes, another 4 more years of Trump. And it's not my fault. It's the establishment and corporate media's fault for running this narrative.